Hey guys, so something strange just happened to me. I just took an online Dutch test and it came up telling me that I was A1 level. Now this is a little bit weird because I've only been doing Dutch for 6 days, so I felt like that was really odd. But before we get into all that, what even is A1, B2, C1, all of these different things? Well, it's all part of the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, CEFR. What's great about it and why lots of people use it is because it focuses on competencies, what you are able to do with the language. For example, the definition of C1 is that you can use a wide range of very complicated clauses to explain something in a really specific way. And the definition of A1, which apparently I've just passed, is that you can use very simple basic phrases to satisfy everyday needs of a concrete type. So A1 isn't necessarily a super stringent standard, but even then, the only reason I reckon I could pass it is because it was an online test that was mainly to do with reading, and because I already speak German, I can read a lot of Dutch without too much hassle. If it had tested my speaking and my listening, then I would have had a lot more problems. Speaking of listening, reading, writing, those of you who are on Potter Watch, I'm only a few pages in, but it's going okay. I think I'm going to get the audiobook to help out. By the way, hashtag great segue. Anyway, but this is where the problems start to come up in the A1 to C2 system, because one person's simple is another person's complex, and somebody who might be really, really good at listening might not be very good at writing. For example, where does fluency sit on this chart here? It kind of doesn't make sense for it to be C2 because surely we can't expect complete perfection. But then C1 is kind of C2, but you don't have to put as much effort in. But then in the B levels, you're only really supposed to give brief answers. So what is success? And does it even help to put yourself on a scale like this? Well, sticking with that theme of fluency for a moment, Benny Lewis defines it as the point at which you are socially equivalent with the people that you're speaking to. As in, you're using that language and engaging with people in the same way as you would in your native language. And I agree with that actually, only I like to call it being able to make friends with somebody in your foreign language, like a proper friend where you're being your true self and you're not being a sort of simplified version of yourself because of your language barriers. And me and Benny both agree that that actually is only B2 on the CEFR framework. So suddenly fluency doesn't look that unobtainable, right? But fluency isn't everything. We do languages for the journey, not for the endpoint, right? There's loads of other milestones to look forward to. There's the first film that you watch, completely in your target language. The first weird conversation you have that's kind of half English and half Spanish with somebody that you meet in a restaurant. And there's the first time that you finish Harry Potter, and that is an important one. And yes, there's the point when you can make friends and be your true self in conversations, but there's so much other cool stuff on the way. And for me, that's the beautiful thing about languages. It's the little bits of progress that you make every day, all those little milestones. It's walking down the street and suddenly you can read that billboard that you couldn't read yesterday. It's that first conversation you get through where nobody speaks a word of English. Like yesterday in Dutch I couldn't say that I liked something, but now I know 3 different ways to say that I like something. For me, that's the real target with languages, to just enjoy it and to hit those little milestones as you go through, to just always be getting better and really enjoy that process. And overall, of course, the people that you get to meet by doing it, all the nice people in cafes and on the street who you bump into and use haltering language with, and then it all kind of comes together in the end. For me, I'm just going to enjoy the ride for the next 20 days and see how it goes. We can see where I land on the scale at the end, but for me, it's the journey that's important. Thanks for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Anyway, yes, 5 days in, so I thought what I would do is recap where I've got to so far and everything I've learned. I'm a little bit nervous about this, not gonna lie. Okay, hi. Ik ben Tom en sinds 5 dagen leer ik het Nederlands. Ik kan zeggen